Hello and welcome to another episode of Talkin Shop. Today we're joined by Shannon, aka Truckergirl. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe and let us know who you want on Talkin Shop next. In this episode of Talkin Shop.
The OnlyFans is a full-time job. The social media is a full-time job. Yeah. And the trucking is a full-time job. Like, I have like 3 jobs and people coming like, I don't do fuck all. I'm like,
I'm constantly
I don't stop.
Someone will have a problem with any post, guaranteed.
Us as humans thrive off drama. We're all on this app for free. We're watching all this content for free, but yeah, this is how TikTok make the money, so they're gonna push
what works.
Yeah, fail my medical because I was bulimic, and it wasn't until like I got into like my mid-20s where I kind of had like a mental breakdown, if you like, and I started seeking help, and I sorted my head out and realised obviously what I've done has not been healthy at all. Say what you want to me, I've gone through a hell of a lot worse stuff, like personally, that say what you want to me, I can take it. This is my idea, want to start an OnlyFans. Are you okay if I use your truck? And he was like, yeah, crack on. So the business, my goal would be, I'd say at least 10 trucks eventually. My accountant rings me, he's like, yeah, Shannon, what? Yeah, you got some weird package turn up. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm glad your office ain't blown up, so it should be all right.
It should be all right, yeah.
So thank you for coming, by the way.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming all the way from...
fighting me down.
Yeah, no, thank you. Well, let's start with how you got into trucking then.
So I was 18 and I've never really been academic. So I didn't go to university.
Join the club.
I did go to college. I did first year as in uniform services because I wanted to go in the army. But I ended up failing my medical. So I was like, well, now what am I going to do? So I did equine based because I was like, well, I've grown up with horses. It's kind of what I know. So I did that, and then it's hard to get. It's there's no money in horses. So
do you want to be a farrier?
No, I mean that is hard work.
Yeah.
No, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I was working behind a bar, pulling pints, literally just covering, making a little bit of money.
As you do when you're young anyway. Yeah,
and it was a friend of mine, and she was a class 2 driver. She worked for her dad, and she was like, have you ever thought about doing your HGV? And I was like, do you know what? I might actually give that a go. I was like, I've always liked off-road trucks and like truck. I've always been like, I'd say like more of a tomboy kind of thing. I've always liked trucks and stuff. And I was like, do you know what? I might give it a go. So I did it. I did my class 2, and then I thought, now I want to be like driving with the big boys. I want to do class 1. So I only drove class 2 for 6 months, saved up enough money to do my class 1, and I went straight into my class 1 and did that because I thought, well, I can revert. I've always been able to. The ongoing joke is obviously we always used to have a truck and a horse box. We never, truck and trailer horse box, and my mum can't reverse a trailer to save a life. Like, so I used to practice when I was like 10, 12-year-old, like reversing the trailer in the field. And then when we used to go to horse shows, I used to reverse us out at like 12-year-old before I had a driving license.
That's the way to do it.
I was like, well, when I go on to class 1, reversing the trailers, I'll be easy with it. And then obviously working, like being on the farm and that with the tractors and trailers, I was like, well, it can't be that much harder. No. So I'll do my class 1, and honestly, I've loved it ever since. And then obviously I started to get into actually appreciating the truck itself, not just driving. So, and then it was always a dream. One day I'd love my own truck and to do it like my truck's going in for its interior done next month. And that has been, I'm so excited for it because it has been one of my dreams to have a really nice interior. Yeah. As sad as it is, some people might think it's sad, but I've always wanted that. And like the companies I've worked for, I've tried to, obviously I've kept the truck as clean as I can, and I've gone out and bought, like the carpets and everything, but it's never your truck. So like now I've got the opportunity to do a truck up how I want it.
Make it your own, really.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I really do.
Because it's your truck, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And like I say, it's been one. See, obviously, I know it's not the newest truck, but out of the specs that I want, obviously, my next one, I want to get a next gen, just because obviously, with going into cities and everything, obviously, mine's an older truck, but it's been a start for me, and I like that shape model. The shape that I've got has always been one of my favourites. See, like when I first started, especially when I got into the class ones, I've never driven a V8, so I was like, that is when I do eventually get to have my own truck, I want a V8.
Yeah.
The one I had before, it was a top line, it was 07 plate, manual, but I absolutely loved it. Yeah. I loved the shape of it and everything, but it was only like 450. Yeah. So it was like, fleet spec.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I loved it. And I treat it like my own truck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had that for, God, what, 5 or 6 years. And until then, there was like, look, we're taking this truck off the road. We're going to scrap it. I was like, oh. And then they put me into an auto. And it wasn't, obviously, that one wasn't a top line or anything. I was like, oh, I miss my old manual top line now.
So you've only ever driven Scanias?
Yeah, mostly. I had a
King of the Road.
Yeah, so I did. What was it? So when I was on class 2, it was an Iveco. I did a lot of agency. Yeah. So when I was on class 2, it was literally just agency. I would just put in anything, and I drove a lot of things, for a couple of days here, a couple of days there. So it wasn't until I passed my class 1. I did one job on the agency as class 1. I had I passed on the Friday, and then the agency that I was with rang me up Sunday night, was like, how do you fancy a run to Scotland now? I was like, what, like now? This, bearing in mind, this was like 10 o'clock at night. And he was like, yeah, can you get to Donny for 10:30 and go to Scotland? I was like, oh my God, okay. And it was a bank holiday, so there was shorter drivers. And I was like, just like shitting myself. I was like, I'm going up to Scotland in the dark. Yeah. First time on the road on my own in a class 1. I was like, I'm nervous. That's a journey. So I said to my husband, I was like, fancy having a day off work tomorrow and come up to Scotland with me tonight. And so that were a Merc. But obviously I only drove that once, and then I'd applied for a job, a local company near me, and fortunately, they said, yeah, we'll take you on, because obviously I was a brand new driver, no experience in class 1, and my age, obviously at the time, I was obviously 19, so young driver, not great.
What was that like?
Not a great start. No. But they said to me, they was like, look, we'll take a chance on you, and to be fair, there was like, it does help us with the insurance, because we've got a lot of older drivers here. So your age brings the average age for the insurance down.
Not the other way around.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay then. Because obviously a lot of companies ask for, like minimum age 25 and stuff. So I thought it was going to be really hard. And I know it can be hard. But like I say, I was fortunate enough for him to take a chance on me. And like I say, I stayed with them for 6 years. And I loved it. And the transport manager who's at that company, he was absolutely brilliant. He came out for a couple of runs with me, and made sure I was okay doing everything. And I've never looked back since with that.
How did you feel when you failed your medical?
So for the
in the army,
for the army, I was gutted, because I really did want to. I wanted to go on the bomb squad with sniffer dogs. That was my first choice. Oh, cool. And then my second choice were, obviously, I know women can't go in the carrot, but gunner. Yeah. So I thought that was my second choice. And then my third choice were vet tech. But yeah, I failed my medical because I was bulimic. So when I was in school, obviously I got bullied for my weight and stuff like that. And I started, making myself sick and everything. And then my mum ended up taking me to the doctors. So obviously it was on my medical record, and obviously it's classed as mental illness and stuff. And obviously you've got to have a clean record to go in. At the end of the day, you with guns and stuff like that, like you have to have a clean record. And that as well, with me being bulimic, it followed me a lot through life. And it wasn't until like I got into like my mid-20s where I kind of had like a mental breakdown, if you like. And, you know, I started seeking help and, you know, I sorted my head out and realised obviously what I've done to myself has not been healthy at all. And yeah, it made me look back. But obviously at the time when I was, and obviously a lot of girls can relate to this as being a teenager in school, like it's hard as it is. I mean, God knows what it's like for kids nowadays in school with the social media. This is what I said. They were only the other day. I got a comment, and like I say, the comments don't bother me anymore. Like, say what you want to me. I've gone through a hell of a lot worse stuff, like personally, that say what you want to me. I can take it if you like. But what annoys me is that these trolls will scroll through, you know, these young girls' profiles, say what the hell they want, carry on scrolling after they've commented, and they don't realise the impact that one comment can cause to these girls. So being, obviously everybody's on social media now, and, you know, girls in school, if they're just like posting a video and having fun, having a dance, whatever, and then you've got these trolls that are just flat out being mean to them, the knock-on effect that this is going to have on people's mental health is scary, really.
Secondary school, I always found secondary school, like when I think back to it, it's shocking. Like, considering you're still young, but you know when they say like kids are mean sometimes?
Yeah.
Wow. Like, I mean, some of the stuff I saw at school, like, wow, it's shocking.
That was then, you know.
Still going back.
As we said,
see, and before, obviously, like, I was born, like, so with social media, I had social media. I think Facebook came out when I was in like year 8, so like 2008, Facebook first came out. But then obviously everything else has followed on since.
Yeah.
Before, you would say something to somebody's face. If you didn't like them or whatever, you would literally just say it to his face. Now you can just hide behind a screen, say what you want, and people will literally get an enjoyment out of setting a fake profile up and then just giving anybody they come across just hate. And I'm just like, I don't get it.
Oh, I don't understand.
And there was I can't remember, this politician in the US or whatever was saying like one of their policies was to essentially enforce social medias to have a name, like your own name with your ID, etc. when you set up a profile.
100%.
Because then there's ownership to what you're saying online. At the moment, there's no ownership to it. And there's no consequence.
Use a 1, 2, 3, 4.
You can just set up whatever name you want, any account.
And say what you want.
Yeah. That's it. It's not verified, is it, at all?
No. We said because obviously as well, I get a lot of fake profiles made of me all the time, and they're just like scammers, and they will literally, they'll go through my following, just follow everybody back, and then message them. It's always them messaging the fans first, and it all boils down to they're wanting money out of them. And if there was some sort of verification process, like I would, like, you know, send your ID, picture of your ID to prove that who you are, that would obviously stop the fake profiles. But with the user 1, 2, 3, 4s, they will literally just hide behind a screen, and it gives people confidence, I think.
I'm not sure why they do it. Is it just because they want a bit of a laugh?
I think it's their own insecurities, isn't it?
I think it is. I think that's what, because I love the psychology of it, and this is one thing that I'd love to learn more about, is psychology and how a human brain works.
What must get in someone's head to think, right, I'm going to put that to you.
That's a good idea.
And actually, as you said earlier, how it affects your life. You know, how it makes someone feel. It's not just a comment you go, oh, okay, whatever, forget that. It does have a negative, you know. It
does. And the only thing I've boiled down to is either A, jealousy, B, they've got something going on in their life that they have, it's like releasing some sort of anger into the world. And it's just like, now I feel better about myself. Do you know what I mean?
It's like they're also clawing for acceptance. You know, when you see, there's literally hate comments on every single post now. Someone will have a problem with any post, guaranteed. And you'll see them and you'll see like how many likes they get. And then because they've got so many likes, they're pushed to the top. So it's clear as day that there's this horrible, hateful comment there, and there's they don't do anything about it.
No. See, I found, so if I do a response video to a hate comment, obviously it's all drama, if you like. us as humans thrive off drama. So soon as you do a response video to a hate comment or whatever comment it is, you do a response video, TikTok, the algorithm's like, oh, okay, people like this. We'll push this out. The more views, obviously the platform's making money. At the end of the day, it's a money thing. Yeah. We're all watching this. We're all on this app for free, right? And we're watching all this content for free, but yet, you know, this is how TikTok make the money. So they're gonna push
what works.
Yeah. And then it's arguments, and then it's like the comments, and then that video then gets pushed. And this is what I mean, when they don't, if you're not quote unquote a creator, like doing this for a living, people like your average Joe Blogs, if you like, they don't understand, like, if whether you comment hate or something nice, our video is like, all TikTok sees it as is, well, that's another comment, that's another comment, that's another comment, like, we'll push this out further. And people don't understand it.
No, right. So embrace it, get your own back.
I was like, yeah, do what you want.
Have you?
Yeah, I think what you do in the response video, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because it actually exposes the comment that's been put there anyway.
Yeah.
But then you're getting your point across back, and it makes them look stupid.
Yeah. Taste of your own medicine. I do see, like, it's quite nice to see every now and again. I don't know why I know so much, but in comments, you'll see, like, sort of people stick up for, and then they end up getting it back, and then you see these huge cringe arguments where people just going back and forth. I'm like, how have you even got the time or the? Because I see them now.
I'm like, you've just
give me a break.
I've only just recently started a Facebook profile, and the only reason I started the Facebook, because I stayed off Facebook for ages, and I deleted my personal Facebook years ago because it's just everyone hangs the freaking washing out on Facebook, so I could never be bothered with it. So I deleted my personal Facebook years ago, and I only started a Truckergirl profile because there's a fake account on there called Derek Summer that just literally reposts all my videos, and it's annoying because obviously he's just getting paid for my videos. Yeah. So I started a new one, but oh my God, Facebook is mental. Like, I thought TikTok was bad. Like, TikTok, I get hate. Instagram's okay. Like, I get a couple of hate comments, but Instagram's the best one out of them. But then Facebook, oh my God, do people, because you can obviously with TikTok, you can only write so many words. Yeah. But with Facebook, wow, you can write an essay on there. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's weird as well, because you think Facebook, for me anyway, it's like I was using Facebook, and you probably found the same thing. I was using Facebook, and then you don't use Facebook anymore. You're on like Instagram, and your parents are now using Facebook.
Yeah.
And it's weird how Facebook's still like the, toxic.
I think it's because a lot of the older generation are on there, whereas the younger generation have moved to TikTok and Instagram. But oh God, like I say, there was a video where me and Nathan did it. So when we were coming back from Truckfest Scotland, I was like, oh, it'd be a right good idea. We'll do, the whole it's been a long day.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, that one. I was like, oh, we can just be like, put our hands out the window and be like,
seen that.
I'd be like, oh, lovely, right? Yeah. And it's done well on every platform. And then I put it on Facebook the other day, and oh my God, they could just criticize this one lass. She's quite funny because when you actually read the comments, she's like, I will do what I want with my life, and I will spend my time how I want. And honestly, the what she has wrote, she's quoted the highway code and everything. I was like, dear. My God.
Yeah. You've read far too much.
I commented on it. I was like, maybe you should ring the number on the side of because she was like saying, oh, it's disrespecting the company. You've got the obviously to Nathan's truck.
Not realising actually.
I was like, do you know what? Maybe you should ring the number on the side of the truck and complain. What are they going to do? Ring Nathan up and be like, excuse me, I've seen this video on Facebook. One of your drivers has been so disrespectful to your company, and Nathan's on the other end like, bloody hell, I'll get him told.
Yeah, that's it.
What's he going to do? Sack himself? Honestly.
To be fair, I can just imagine Nathan on that phone call. And,
I know.
I don't think it'd come out favourable for the person ringing.
I rang Nathan. I was like, please go comment on that TikTok, on the Facebook post, and be like, please don't ring him. I don't want to lose my job.
Yeah. So cool. Being a creator then, being on OnlyFans, doing all of this.
Yeah.
Obviously, the hate from that, like we always thought with, like when we've had other females in the industry on, or female truck drivers obviously, which as it is now is a lot less of a big deal as it was back in the day. Did you get any hate, especially being young as well, when you first started driving? Did you get any like spiteful comments?
Yeah. I mean, so when I first started with, like I said, I worked for E-Parks, and there was a guy there, and from day one, he never spoke to me. Like I say, I was there 6 years, never said one thing to me. Just did not like me for some reason. I never did anything to him. Never said anything to him. And then my truck had gone in for a service and something else done on it. So I was using somebody else's truck, and I was using his truck. So I was working nights. So obviously he was backing it in the day. And it was, like I say, it was only for a couple of days. And he complained to HR that I had infected his cab with horse fleas, right? And my transport manager, like I say, he's absolutely brilliant. And he messaged me, he was like, "I'll just let you know." He's moaned about you, and that he was like, and you'll never guess what, he's saying that you've infected his cab with horse fleas because he's got one bite on his arm. I was like, it's funny that, because horses actually don't get fleas. I was like, they're one of the animals that don't have fleas. And I was like, and I sold my last horse 18 months ago. So
knowledge is power.
Yeah. So, and I said, and I had it out with him in the yard. I was like, what is your problem with me? I was like, I've never done anything wrong to you. No. I turn up, I do my job, I go home. Like, what's your problem? And I think the thing that pissed him off, right, is, so if I was to ever use somebody else's truck, I'd respect it, clean it, never, I won't leave it a mess or anything like that. And I got in the cab and there were just like crumbs everywhere. It was disgusting in that truck, right? So while I was waiting to be unloaded, I thought, I'll just clean it. I didn't move any of his stuff anywhere. No. Got rid of anything in pot. I just literally cleaned the floor, wiped all dash down and everything, and footwell. And I was like, I think he's pissed off because I've cleaned his truck. I think that's the only thing I can think of, because
he's took that and think, oh, sorry.
Yeah. But he used to hate me. Then there was another guy at the yard. He used to it was always like sleazy comments but comments more like, it was sleazy, but taking the piss because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Because I had a poppy air freshener and it was a red one, and it was like, oh, bloody hell, it's like freaking red light district in there. Bet you parked up in laybys. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
So I got a lot of shit before.
Yeah. Is it this, because what you've just said there sort of resonate? Is that's sort of like the same sort of hate, isn't it? That either way, whatever he's doing, it's.
And this was before I did the OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong as well, you get a lot of nice gestures towards you of being quote unquote like a woman in the, because we used to do a lot of work down to Aldi, and obviously they had the trucker, obviously the driver's toilets, and they were disgusting. Like you can imagine, absolutely disgusting. And he were absolutely lovely. The gate man, he was always like, every time I got down there, I always needed a wee. And he was like, oh, God, I love you. He was like, you can use our toilets, they're nice and clean. He was like, I'm not going to send you around to that one. So there were nice perks like that.
Yeah.
Jamie, we had Jamie on Saturday, and she was saying actually, and somebody else said it, that actually sort of in a way, being a woman is kind of nice, because when you do need help as well, people help. Yeah. And I mean, I've admittedly, to be fair, I wouldn't be able to help you. I can barely drive my car, let alone the truck. But I've sat there sort of looking at drivers like, what are you doing? Like, can you not, come on? Like, laughing, But actually thinking about it, I probably couldn't do it. Well, I know I couldn't do it, but.
And funny enough, you mentioned, Jamie, she sort of said to us, the more negative comments she got, actually, the more it made her go, you know what, actually, I'm going to show you actually how it is.
Yeah. I will prove you wrong.
So I suppose that is the motivation to go, I'll prove you wrong.
Yeah. 100%. Because when obviously, I get the comments like, oh, you're not a driver, you're not this and this and that. And I'm like, I will prove you wrong. Yeah. See, at first, right? So when I first set off with the whole Truckergirl thing, I was driving a DAF, and like when I got assigned from a studio, I had a V8, because I was like, when I save up enough money, I'm going to buy myself a V8. It's always, it's my favourite truck, always been a dream. I will buy a V8. And the amount of comments like, what you got a V8 sign for? You drive a DAF. I'm like, wait, one day.
One day I'll show you.
One day I will have a V8. But then that's where so obviously when I first started with the Truckergirl, obviously I got a lot of hate because everybody basically just thought I was a slag in a DAF, like working for somebody else, right? And bearing in mind, obviously, the guy's truck I was using and driving for, I asked him before I even started, I was like, look, this is my idea. Want to start an OnlyFans. Are you okay if I use your truck? And he was like, yeah, crack on. I was like, mint, thanks. So obviously everybody was like, the amount of people that comment was like, ha ha ha, wait, and I'm going to find out who you work for. I'm going to ring your boss. You're going to be sacked on Monday. You wait. I can't believe you're doing this in somebody else's truck. And I'm like,
funnily enough,
I was like, I'll give you his number if you want. You can ring him. I was like, literally, do you not think I'm not stupid enough to ask him this before?
That's the thing with majority of the comments is they don't even have the context. It's like that woman commenting about you and Nath.
Yeah.
She doesn't realise actually your mates with Nath.
Yeah, exactly.
And he owns the company. That
You've wasted your time putting this huge long essay and actually...
she was banging on about
completely irrelevant.
I didn't have a seatbelt on. I'm like, you can literally see the seatbelt on my shoulder. What more do you want?
So how does you... obviously you're used to it now, but how did you cope with it at first? Because...
What, with the hate?
Yeah, and the comments and...
Well, so when I first set off with putting myself on social media, I didn't read any of it. I was like, right, I'm never going to read it. Like my husband, he scrolled through all the comments. He was like, I'm not going to let her see this and stuff like that. And then like a month or so in, I was like, do you know what? I don't really care. You know, I'm like, I don't care. Just say what you want. Because then obviously I started to realize like, these people are nobody. And this is what I mean. So when I first went to my first truck show at Peterborough, obviously, this was the first, obviously I've been for many years, but I blended in. I was a nobody. Do you know what I mean? So go in, everybody knows what my truck looks like. Everybody knows what I look like. I was like, people are going to say stuff to my face. I was nervous. So I was nervous. Like I say, I took calming pills. Literally the calms, obviously not the nighttime ones because you can't drive on them ones. For the record. But yeah, I took the calms and I had a Fitbit on and my heart rate was like 156 beats a minute while I was sat doing nothing. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have a heart attack. And my heart was literally pitter patter. I was so scared. And it were David CR, because obviously we were just going to drive down, just me and the husband. I was like, oh my God, like I'm so scared. And David he was like, if anybody wants to convoy with us down to Peterborough, you're more than welcome. So I messaged him and I was like, would you mind if I join you? And he was like, no, come and you can park next to us and everything. Which that it made it feel a little bit safer because like, you know, have you seen David? Like he don't care. He does not give a shit about anything. He'll just say it as it is. And when we got there, I realised like nobody says nothing to your face. No. They, like I said, this is where I think they've got the balls behind a screen and a keyboard. They'll say what they want to you on there. Yeah. Because there's no
repercussions.
Yeah. There's no comeback, nothing. And yeah, all right, I might bite back sometimes, but that's it. It is literally just a comment war. Yeah. Right. But nobody says anything to your face. And I realised that. And so the more truck shows I did, I was like, yeah, nobody says anything because they don't have the. I'm like, there was one comment, right, and this was after the Peterborough one. There was like, seen your truck at Peterborough, rusty pile of shit, something along the lines of that. And I was like, well, if you see my truck at Peterborough, why don't you come and say that to my face? Yeah. Come and tell me that. Yeah, they've seen the truck, rusty pile of shit. Yeah, like, yeah. Did you get a response to that? Then you've gone home. Yeah. Search for me on TikTok. Yeah. And then commented. I'm like, what's the point?
What's the point in that? Yeah. You could just hide behind that screen and you don't know who they are and vice versa.
Exactly. Because I'm just like, make it make sense. Do you know what I mean? Make it make sense.
Has all of this give you a bit more thick skin? Obviously, you were saying when you were younger, when you were a kid and stuff. Now you grown up, like being through that essentially when you're younger and then getting to this now. Yeah. Is it giving you a bit of like a thick skin to it?
Yeah, definitely. Because you have to be thick skinned. Like, yes, I know not everybody's going to like me, and which is fine. You can't like everybody. And like I say, if you've got fans, you've got haters. Like, I get that. And obviously, I know people don't agree with the OnlyFans, which is fine. It's not their life. I'm not. And this is the good thing about OnlyFans. It's behind a paywall. I'm not shoving it in your face.
No. Subscribe or don't.
Yeah. It's there. If you want to go subscribe, great. Go subscribe. If you don't. Yeah. I'm not forcing anybody to do anything they don't want to do. No. And like, all right, with Twitter, there's a lot of things you can put onto a freaking Twitter. Is crazy. But if you don't want to go see it, don't go on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's an option.
Yeah.
You don't have to do
follow
it.
You don't have to,
If you don't. And this is the thing, like the amount, there was literally a guy commented the other day and he was like, I'm sick of seeing this girl. It was a bit worse than that, but something like that. And I clicked on his profile and it was this old guy. And I was like, so I just put a sarcastic comment back. I was like, if you go onto YouTube and search how to block somebody, there's hundreds of videos, and click on one of those videos, watch it, and then you can come back and block me.
Yeah.
If you don't like me, block it.
Yeah.
I mean, you will have to block a lot of other fake accounts, but
no,
honestly, there's about 25, 30 fake accounts, so you'll have to go block all of them.
You're global now.
So I was like, but I've got 4 TikTok accounts, but all the rest are fake. I was like, well, you just have to go block it. If you don't want to see me, just block me. It's not hard.
Yeah, on Instagram, when I was messaging the other day, I swear have you got like sub accounts?
Yeah, I've got. So okay. I've got my main.
I was gonna say, otherwise you've got a lot of fakes. Do it well.
No, I've got three accounts on Instagram. I've got my main one, which is the _1.
Yeah,
and then _Shan, and then Truckergirl A, which I've made the Truckergirl A more. Well, I've only just really started it, so that one I've just keeping it quote clean.
Yeah,
if you like, and that's just going to be pictures of my truck working kind of thing, and truck shows and stuff like that.
Different spin on things, really. Yeah.
How did you meet Jody, Jack?
At the truck shows.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so we first, so it was at Peterborough. Nicole, she, trucker baddie.
Mm-hmm.
So she already knew Jody, and we'd gone, went and met her, had a picture with her, and I didn't really know anybody. And then it was Convoy next, wasn't it? And then obviously I actually then met Jody, spent the weekend with her, and obviously we clicked. Like she's absolutely brilliant.
She's into her horse as well, isn't she?
Yeah. So we had quite a bit in common. And like I say, we've just spent the weekend with them, and they're absolutely brilliant. And like even she said, she was like, look, I'll admit, I judged at first and thought, oh, fucking hell, here we go, another OnlyFans girl. But she was like, you're actually mint. Like this is the thing that people don't see. Then like, this is why I started the YouTube, because it's more of my personality.
Yeah.
Rather than, I do OnlyFans. Do you know what I mean?
There's a person actually behind the pictures and the content.
And I am nice when you get to spin on me.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just think, oh, fucking hell, here we go.
Yeah.
Which I get, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to show people like just a day in the life as well of what your life consists of as a trucker.
How are you finding YouTube compared to all the other platforms?
It's all right. It's all right. It's so my thing is, obviously, I know a lot of YouTubers will put out a video every week, which I'm struggling to get do content every week, because obviously with the work I'm doing now with the truck, it is literally curtain side of work, pallet work. Boxes, and I'm like, how many times do people want to see that as a video? Do you know what I mean? So I've kind of subcategorized it. So I've got obviously when we do the truck shows again next year, truck show videos will go into one category. I've got the photo shoots I'm doing with people's trucks. Obviously, if they're happy with me doing a YouTube, obviously I'll ask them and that, and if they're happy with it, give me a tour of the truck, tell me about it. The business. I went up to Scotland to see Scott Thompson's, and he gave me a tour of his yard, what he does, where they started from, and then it's a little bit, so it's a bit more interesting than what I'm doing every day at work. Do you know what I mean? And see, obviously when I get different loads with my truck to work, if it's interesting, I'll do a YouTube video on it. Well, like I say, I've only just started the YouTube, maybe a month or 2 ago.
Yeah. How far do you want to take the trucking business?
So the business, like I said, my goal would be, I'd say at least 10 trucks eventually.
Good for you.
Great.
So obviously, like I say, my next truck, I'd like to look at getting another truck next year.
Yeah.
Next gen, something new. Within a 5-year-old, And then eventually my truck now will be retired as just a show truck. So obviously at the minute, obviously it's a 4-legger. So I'm only doing light work with it. Obviously you can't do full 44 ton, but you can still do 41. So it's not too bad for what I want to do.
Yeah.
But eventually, I want more trucks. And then the husband needs to do before I buy another truck, the husband needs to do his license. Realistically,
so
because so so
shut up, Jack.
I was like, if we get another truck, both of them need to be working. I can't have 2 trucks, one truck working, one truck not working. I'm one person, I can't drive both at the same time. So eventually, obviously, then if we get a 3rd truck, I can then, like I say, I'll retire my truck now and just have that as a show truck.
Yeah.
And then I can drive the new one and then husband can drive the second one. Do you know what I mean? So, and then build it up like that. And then, because obviously I don't want to do the OnlyFans forever, but
there's a means to an end.
Yeah. It does have an expiration date on it.
Yeah.
And like I say, I don't want to do it forever. It's fun now. And, let's be honest, it funds everything. But I want to obviously have a sustainable business and obviously invest in that. Obviously, our thing is invest in property, invest in everything. So what we're making on the OnlyFans, we invest into other things.
Good use,
But I've always, like I say, I did my transport manager's CPC, 5 years ago now. I've literally just done a refresher. I did that 5 years ago in hopes for one day we was like, we're going to buy our own truck, start our own haulage company, but we just could not fund it. Like it's a lot of money to you either buy the truck or finance it. And then it's the running costs. And obviously, if you do get into a big company, it's 90-day payment. Like it's a lot. And then obviously your first truck, you need obviously your financial standing. It's a lot of money to start.
Yeah.
So, and we just obviously then, we got married and freaking bills come in and we could just never got started with it. Even doing the CPC course, that was like 1,400 quid.
Yeah.
To do my course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything costs money and we just never got to that stage of being able to afford it before.
Yeah. I just see it now on your YouTube, like actually in the future, your content being like a lot of how the company is doing.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
I mean, we follow YouTubers like, I'm thinking like Asheville Aggregates. So if you've seen his channel, it's like, it's properly taken off.
Literally him on his own with a tipper to now owning 15, 20 trucks, machinery.
Hasn't he got something to do with like Crystal QPR?
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
I don't know if he's an ambassador or like a shareholder at QPR as well.
So
like it's
built
amazing.
it up from the ground. So
and then just shares his day to day, like what's happened. He had protesters come to the yard once, and he must be thinking that's a nightmare, but.
It's good YouTube content.
It's great content. Exactly.
Because they love to watch, like I say, the drama. Everyone loves that.
Yeah, everyone loves the drama.
Absolutely.
But so I say eventually I would like a full haulage business and that's
the motivation, isn't it? That's what keeps you going. That's what you're doing it all for, really.
100%. Like this is the thing I say, I don't want to do it forever, but invest into something else.
Yeah.
That's good.
You're obviously doing well out of OnlyFans, but I swear, did I see something on your story like you're in the top 0. whatever percent? Like that's got to be like amazing. It's like surely.
Yeah. So how it works is it's I don't know. So obviously, the more money you earn, it goes down into percentage. So it'll go from obviously 100% down to 1%. And then once you get into the 1%, it goes like 0.99, 0.98. And obviously the more money you make, the lower you go, but technically you're going higher.
Yeah.
So I've just got into the, what was it? 28? 29?
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it fluctuates up and down as well. Like, and obviously, if you have a big celebrity join the platform, that will alter because obviously
Kim K goes on it tomorrow.
Because she has millions of followers, and if she started an OnlyFans, people go subscribe and it just goes up and down. But it's it's good to see, and it is reward. It gives you that incentive to like, right, I'm gonna work harder.
Yeah. No, good for you.
Thank you.
When did you start it?
August last year.
So you've been driving for a long time then?
Yeah. This is the thing, and
everyone thinks, you're only doing it for clout. You're only driving. Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, the first few months on TikTok, everyone was like, you're not a driver, you just pose around trucks and all this lot. And then I started, obviously, I was like, all right, then I'll film me driving. Like, is this enough for you? No. Then I bought the truck, then more, like, so I got, like I say, I got the hate before, then I bought the truck, then the jealousy started, like, oh, fucking hell, you know what I mean? I got all that. So, and then obviously, if you know about the trucks, obviously, any accessory for a truck is expensive. And obviously now I'm putting the money into the truck, people can see how much money they've spent on it. So then they're jealous of that.
Yeah.
Then they're like, oh, fucking hell, it's only other men have paid.
Money.
No, oh my God. I'm like, this is the thing when they're like, oh yeah, but it's all these guys are paying for it and that. I'm like, yeah, but you go to work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You sell your body to your boss.
Yeah.
To work in a job that you probably hate. And then, so that's like, if you then go out and buy a car, has your boss bought that for you? Yeah,
that's it. Your boss has bought that car for
exactly.
you. Yeah,
exactly. The
exactly.
money's gone through my bank. It's technically mine.
Yeah, it's your money.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Oh, honestly, it's
little do they know you've been driving for many years previous to.
Do you know the comments that I love the most? They were like, because obviously, like I say, I've got the love and the passion for the truck, and they're like, you wait until you've been in this job 32 years, you'll hate it. I'm like, look, in 32 years, I'd like to be sat on a nice beach somewhere with a pina colada. So, you know, the company's running itself, and I've got drivers working for me. I mean, to be fair, in 30 odd years, there'll probably be driverless vehicles, so I'm not going to have to worry about that. Do you know what I mean? I'll just press it on a dashboard and be like, this vehicle needs to go from A to B.
Yeah, I mean, the people pulling these comments are probably people that have already, always
they've been
driven.
in the job 32 years.
Exactly, but you've already got your own truck and you're already on that road to owning more.
One place I worked, the forklift driver, he'd been there donkey's years, 20 odd years, hated the job, moaned every single day. And I'm like, if you hate the job, leave, go get something else, do something else. No one's forcing you to stay here. If you hate it that much, just leave. And all these drivers are like, you wait until you've been in here. Like,
I hate that.
Just leave. If you don't like the job, go do something else.
That's it.
Do you know what I mean? There's plenty of other jobs out there. Go do something else.
That's it.
No one's got a gun to your head saying you must stay here.
Yeah.
Your following is massive, especially like on Instagram as well. It's like 120,000 followers. Like celebrity,
Oh no, I don't class myself as that.
But what's it like? Because we've asked others, like I think Dave's got like 400,000 TikTok followers. Obviously, Jack's got a massive following. Like he's our most watched podcast up till now, but so there's a challenge. But
I like a challenge.
Do you not like turn up, like fill the truck up, and like people like you know when you clock eyes at someone, you're like. They think that.
Oh, it's like literally the other day in London, one day, literally they were like double backing on me. Because obviously, this way with the, because I'm quite like a country girl as well. So one of my TikTok goes out better to Land Rovers, because obviously I've got Land Rovers and stuff. And like I've got a shooting background. They love that. So it's split. So it's not 100% basic truck drivers. I would say probably about 80% of them are truckers. And the other 20% are like farming, shooting background kind of thing. So it gets split, but that's what I mean, like going to the country, you think in London, you know, I feel like a fish out of water in the city anyway. But then when people are like, well, you're a truck girl, I'm like, hi.
That's me.
But it takes you back a bit, really, doesn't it? But it's sort of, people are noticing me.
It's a strange feeling.
Perspective, and I've said this, but in the O2 Arena, we watched this concert this weekend and it seats 20,000.
Yes.
And I sat outside of Shannon and we're looking around. We're right up in the top. We're in awe. And I just went 5 times this following you on Instagram.
Yeah.
In the arena. And you was like,
which is quite
good.
Yeah.
Good perspective.
You know what I mean? Like,
strange to put that into perspective.
That's a really good analogy, actually. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. So you can see a number on your YouTube subscribers and think, okay,
but 20,000 people in an arena.
Yeah.
It
gets it's a little bit daunting, but then at the same time, I think, I'll just lock my phone and just pretend that world doesn't exist. Do you know what I mean? Like I can step out of it. But then like when I'm on my phone and on the social media, you get in, you're like in the world, But it is easy to just lock my phone and be like, oh, that's it. I'm done for today.
Yeah. You gone to like a petrol station before or the city or whatever, and they've gone, see you on that.
Yeah. And obviously, like, because my truck's becoming quite recognisable now. When I'm going down the road, the amount of people that flash me, and I'm like, oh, he knows who I am.
Yeah.
It's nice as well, because obviously people will come up at, when I'm filling up and stuff, and they'll come and be like, excuse me, are you a trucker girl? I'm like, hi, yeah. And like, oh, can I get a picture with you? And I'm like, yeah, of course you can. And the blessed, where I've been delivering, she works in the office there, and her husband's a truck driver, and she came down while I was doing curtains up, and she was like, excuse me, she was like, I'm wondering if I could get a picture with you. I'm like, yeah, of course you can. She was like, honestly, I've been waiting so long. She was like, if you're at one yard and then you're at other yard, or if I'm at the other yard, you're at this yard. And I'm like, oh, bless you. Yeah. And she was like, you won't mind doing a little video? She was like, my husband follows you on TikTok, and he's a massive fan and all this. And I'm like, and she was like, can you do a thing saying like hi to him and everything? I'm like, yeah, of course I can. And honestly, bless her. She was like starstruck. I was like, I'm just a normal person.
Yeah.
That's cute. Can't you just come talk to me? I'm like, I'm just normal.
No, good. You get that little sort of feel good from it.
Yeah, it is nice. Like I say, it's just like, oh, I am just normal. But like the people as well that'll they'll message me after a truck show, for instance. They're like, oh, I saw you, but I didn't dare come up and say hi. I'm like, just come say hi, I don't bite.
No.
Yeah, that's it.
So your customer base then, do you find the content helps with generating work for the truck?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do the customers sort of know who, like, do they correlate the whole Truckergirl with the business? Do they, do you get any customers that don't agree with what you do on OnlyFans or?
No, I mean, I've not had any yet. But obviously if they didn't agree, they probably just won't use me.
Well, that's true, yeah.
But yeah, they've all been great. Obviously Laurie's plastered up with OnlyFans all over it.
Yeah.
It's on my tank, it's on my Susie bar, it's on back at trucks.
No secret.
It's everywhere. It is what it is. But obviously when I go out and do work, I am respectful. Obviously I'm not, there like sprawling all over it truck naked in somebody else's yard. Do you know what I mean? So I am respectful. I still do my job. I'm still an old person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do it on the side. So yeah, it is what it is. You either like, as I say, you either like it or you don't. And
and again, like the whole thing, you don't have to follow you. Well,
yeah. And to be fair, I've had a few good jobs come out of it.
Yeah.
And been able to obviously work the truck with people like, oh, can you do a load from A to B? And I'm like, yeah. So it's helped.
Yeah, that's one of the questions. Is it the same sort of work you do, or is it every day, different day? Is it same routes? Or
at the minute, like I say, it's only light work for the truck at the minute. I'm literally running to other side of Barnsley, and I'm doing like 2 or 3 loads a day with it. Obviously, it's paid. It pays well. It pays for the, it covers its wage. The running cost of the vehicle, the truck itself earns its own money. Because this is what we said, like, no matter what we do, the truck still has to earn its money, because at the end of the day, it's £750 a month just to insure it. Wow. I was like, I'm not paying £750 a month for it to just stand there. Aye. Like, it's got to go turn a wheel. So yeah, I was like, so long as it's earning its money, and then like I say, if I get another truck, that also again can't just stand there and look pretty. Has to go out and do some work.
Yeah.
Which, it's helped. Like I say, with what it's doing now, it's only clothes, so it's light work on the truck. It's not hammering it.
No,
but it's out and it's earning its money.
Yeah, with the following that you've got now and how big you are on social medias.
Yeah,
is there? Because look, a lot of people say like it's hard work trucking and stuff.
Oh my god,
and
it is.
We can see from. I mean, me and Aaron are just two faces on the camera. It's the guys here that do the work. Obviously, Ben, but we can see how difficult that is as well.
Oh my god.
And thinking of content, what content works, what doesn't work. Is there points where you're like, I can't do both?
Well, this is why I have my husband. So, honestly, so the OnlyFans is a full-time job. The social media is a full-time job, and the trucking is a full-time job. Like, I have like 3 jobs, and this is the other thing. People come in like, I don't do fuck all. I'm like,
I'm constantly.
I don't stop.
I wish you knew.
Yeah. So you know, a lot of girls who are on the OnlyFans will use an agency, and basically the agency will do all. So you basically hand over, and they'll take a cut, and they'll do all your messaging back to all these people, pretending to be you. But that will never work for me because and this is the thing, like some guys will come on my OnlyFans and just talk about trucks. Like talk about trucks, trucking, like I say, with the 4x4s, Land Rover. I've had a lot of guys talk about Land Rovers, and I say it's nothing sexual. It's just literally chatting. But I was like, I could never, I couldn't give this over to an agency. No. Yeah, because how could they talk about tacos and, you know, frigging your hours?
That's a really good point, actually. When does that start? Then the agents are literally ringing you. You're paying them to do a job, and they're ringing you like, what do we go back to and explain on here?
I was like, they'd have to learn everything. I was like, so obviously you get loads of messages off of agencies on Instagram, like, oh, seen your profile. It's always, you know, the same generated message. And I just reply was like, look, thanks for the offer, but with my niche and my trucking, you'd never work. So that's what I mean. So when I'm out on the truck, I'll reply to people on my breaks because obviously I can't text and drive. So replying to people on breaks when I get home, and then not only that, I've obviously so a lot of people think you just film a TikTok video and throw it out and boom, that's it. That's all you do. It's just you just
show
film,
your face,
film video. It's not that hard. But then it's the editing, thinking of what. This would be a good TikTok idea. So there's all that. Then now I've started with the YouTube. This is you'll understand is the editing of it. Like, oh my God, like the editing takes ages. So I did the first couple and then I handed it over to Dad. I was like, look, you're going to have to do the editing on the YouTube, edit all, because you could have hours of footage that you'll render down to a 20-minute video. And people don't understand like how many hours I've got, and then it's the chopping it up and thinking, oh well, this bit will go well here, and then adding the music over the top, and
and it's people's attention spans these days as well. 20, 30 minutes maximum that's what people can watch a video for. So if it goes on for 40 minutes, they're not going to watch it.
No,
you know,
people were saying it's not really a new thing, but people have been saying about like songs now have been getting shorter over the last few years, and you're getting like 1 minute 50, 2 minute songs.
Yeah, because it used to be like 3.
Yeah, people just don't have the attention span for a song anymore.
I don't have the attention span for a song.
No.
he hates being in the car.
Skip.
I'll listen to the first chorus and maybe we'll get to chorus and then second verse, and then I'm like, right, I'm done.
I've heard that already now.
Next song. He's like, why can we never just listen to a song all the way through? I'm like, I'm bored by the end
Me
of it.
Me too. I'm shocking. I know I said this recently on another podcast, but I'll be on a run and I'm spending more time skipping the music. And it's quite hard working out as well, or you know, pushing yourself when you've not got a good song. I'm like, oh God. What is this? Especially when you share your Spotify with your girlfriend now as well. So my fiance. So
mix.
Mamma mia! What is going on?
Yours really?
That's what my music's like anyway. It's like honestly, 1 minute I could be listening to something like Wet 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 or like Michael Jackson. Next minute will be country, and then next minute will just be like house music. I'm just so random.
Yeah, mine's all over the place.
What keeps you going on? Obviously, being in a truck a lot of the time, what keeps you going? Is it mainly music? Or?
No, well, it used to be until I got sick of listening to the songs. I was like, I've listened to this over and over again. I can't. So when I started working nights, obviously the hardest time is like 2-3 o'clock in the morning because you're just not meant to be awake in the dark, and it's hard work. So I started listening to podcasts. And because your brain, you're like, oh, what's coming like next, if you like.
You're thinking about it, aren't you, more? Yeah.
So I started listening to podcasts, and that's how I just listen to podcasts majority of the time.
What's your favourite podcast?
It's
careful how you answer this.
No, they're from America. It's called Mile High Podcast, and they started out. So I've been listening to them since they started. I used to listen to because they're a married couple, and it used to be the female of it, Kendall. She used to do true crime and like obviously talk about a murder. And then obviously her and her husband then started the Mile High podcast, and then they were going into like conspiracy theories, aliens, and now they've kind of gone more to a true crime, and they'll talk about a full case in depth. And then every now and again they still do the conspiracy, because I love a conspiracy.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're the ones that I listen to the most. And obviously, like, then he's like branched out, done his own like darker serial killer kind of thing. And then she's then started a podcast with a cousin, which is more lighthearted, because there's only so much true crime you can listen to, and it's like, my brain needs a rest from, Susan got murdered, and I'm like, oh God, I need a break. So then they've got more lighthearted, jokey one, because I'm like, I get why they started it, because I'm like, I need to listen to something here. Then there's Eleanor Neal. She's UK. She does obviously murder mystery again. Bailey Sarian.
There's a theme here.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of murder. Everyone thinks I'm listening to the songs, and I'm just like, so this is how she died. I'm like,
do you know what's funny as well? My fiance, she is exactly the same. And for me,
it's us women.
I think, do you know what it is? I think
we're going to kill you when you sleep.
Yeah. And some of them are great, but I have to admit, like, more recently, I'm like, I just can't stomach it anymore. And I'll be like, I'll be in the other room and like, and that night she slaughtered her 4 children. I'm like, what are you watching? Like, eventually it's a bit like, I just can't do it anymore. Like, it's put me in a horrible mood.
Yeah. And then one of the, Dane takes piss out of me all the time for this. So I grew up playing Sims on computer.
No, I did that. It was a good
game. And I don't really play it anymore. Because I don't have the time for it.
Yeah.
But there's a guy, he's an Australian guy, and he obviously he's on YouTube, and he's playing Sims and he's just talking through it, but his voice is so like
therapeutic.
Yeah. And he's like, why are you watching this guy play Sims? Playing himself in Sims. I'm like, shut up. Leave me alone.
Do you know what? Funny enough, I literally never got time now to put my PlayStation on, but I do, like, every now and again I'll stick a YouTube video of on like
somebody else playing the game.
I do, and I've watched this one guy in particular for like, I want to say 15 years.
Yeah.
And I'll still every now and again, like, if I see it, I won't search for it, but if I see it come up, sometimes I'll be like, get 10 minutes in, and then Ellie's like, what are you watching?
Stop judging me.
Yeah, that's me. Secret nerd.
See, I'm not even watching him play The Sims. No. I'm just listening to him play it, because he does a full, obviously he's like, brilliant. So fucking so-and-so, right, I'm going to go here and cook some tea, and he's like, what the hell? I'm just, leave me alone.
Yeah.
It's my just I have to like, and obviously this is the thing, like, obviously this, with the OnlyFans, I see a lot of penises, and I kind of have to like step out of it, like just something mind numbing.
Yeah, and just focus your mind somewhere else.
Sims is mind numbing. Leave me alone.
Too much trauma.
Well, I just like The Sims.
To them, it's great, but
I bought a Switch just so I can, and I've just downloaded Harry Potter because I'm sad. But,
is that a Hogwarts Legacy one?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's good.
And then I've also got Dreamlight Valley, which is a Disney game, but I love it. I'm like, it's just, and he's like, you're so sad. I'm like, leave me alone. I just need to numb my brain.
Yeah. I suppose you've got to have an escape, haven't you?
Yeah, and that is like, because like with the Dreamlight Valley, as like sad as it sounds, it's the music is really like therapeutic, and it's like really easy to play. It's because like we used to have Red Dead. Which is a great game.
What a game.
Right? But it's a lot of thinking about it, and like people are like getting shot, you're like, oh my god, like I need to just something simple, like nobody's gonna die in this game. It's just really easy. I'm just gonna build my little house. And everything's gonna be great. Well, just let me have this.
When you going back to the OnlyFans from games, when you first started it, I mean, now it's like, you've been on it for a year, so I suppose OnlyFans was out for a few years before that, wasn't it?
I was quite late to the game.
And to be fair, it's like becoming more and more of like at first I suppose it was like a niche, but now it's quite
normal.
Yeah, in a way.
Like every man and his dog's on it.
Yeah. But how was it? What was it like for you, friends, family, when you first, did you just literally go, I'm on OnlyFans?
Yeah, basically.
Crack on.
So obviously we'd had, me and the husband obviously had a massive conversation about like, shall we do it, shall we not? We joked about it for ages. It was like, oh bloody hell, we should just start an OnlyFans. And then we did it, and not that we kept it secret, because obviously I put my face to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, it is what it is. And then after honestly, we blew up in like the first week, and I was like, right, we'll best tell people. So we literally just told him, was like, right, this is what we've done, started OnlyFans. And then obviously some of the older generation were like, oh, what's that? And we're like, well, it's basically porn. So yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. And yeah, they've all been great. Like,
good.
Nobody's had anything bad to say or anything like that. And
well, what can you say now?
This is what I mean. Like, I've always been like quite close knit, like close with friends. Our friend group is very like close knit friend group. And then obviously our family's not massive, so we didn't have a lot of family to tell, but we told the family that we cared about and the friends that we cared about. And I was like, well, if anybody else find out. Do you know what I mean? You can't hide it. This is the thing. Like I get a lot of girls message me like, oh, I really want to start, blah, blah, blah. Like, but don't want so-and-so, this family member to find out. I'm like, don't bother.
Yeah, if it's not right for you,
I was then. If you want to try and hide, I mean, some girls do, and they can go faceless. Like, you don't have to show your face.
Yeah.
But I was like, majority of the time, you're going to get found out.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the first weekend I started, I had a phone call off. I was like, oh my God. Because the thing is, like, people would be ringing my friends, like, a friend of a friend would ring that friend and then that friend would ring me and be like, oh, I've had so-and-so on the phone. Yeah. And I'm like, this is what I mean. You can't hide it.
There's I can't remember, years ago, I saw some live streamer who kept his identity, where he lived, etc., quite secret. It's amazing how good people are at sort of finding you.
Yeah.
And I think he accidentally, like in one shot, there was like a letter on the floor and a table in the background. And someone managed to like read it, get it, guess it, and literally had to move.
Yeah.
That's scary, isn't it?
Yeah, he had, and then there's another one where he had the FBI turn up in the US really? Because people were like, there's this guy walking down the street. He's a live streamer, so he's in the street. People go, that's where he is, and they'll be like, he's got a bomb. So there's a video on I can't remember, what is it? Twitch? Yeah, I swear it is. Yeah, it's like a video of this guy like the street's cornered off. It's just a live streamer with this like what they call selfie pole, selfie stick. Yeah. And there's like people at the end of the road like, get down on the ground, get down on the ground.
Oh God.
Yeah. And now it's a joke. Yeah. Now he's the guy that now can't show his face out of fear of somebody will call him.
Have you seen Jose Monkey on TikTok?
No.
So basically, he's a nerd. He can access all sorts of things on the internet. But so he's doing it as a game now, and he's used his platform to show how dangerous the internet can be. Yeah. Right. So what you do is you get your phone, and you could be up a skyscraper. Lads are doing it in cherry pickers and that, and they're spinning around and they go, "Jose Monkey, find me."
Yeah, and you'll have to look for it. So he's always like, look, I find people who ask to be found. Yeah. And is like, sometimes it takes him a couple of hours, but he'll analyze everything behind him, the shops, the signs, street signs, like, and some of them, obviously in the video, he can't make out the street he's on, like blurriness, but he will pick everything up, like the sides of the buildings, like, it's mental.
Scary.
It's very scary.
But like, obviously, at first, obviously, I just was like, I'm based in Donny. Obviously, my business is set up with my accountant. I was like, I'm not having my address on it. You got to protect yourself on some things.
Yeah, is that amazing how you actually have got to sort of think like that?
Yeah, because company's house and all sorts you're on there, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. You can't hide from that.
No.
So I was like, when I set my business up, it's going to my accountant's office.
Yeah. Good call.
Honestly, my accountant rings me. It's like, yeah, Shannon, what? Yeah, you got some weird package turn up. I'm like, oh yeah, well, I'm glad your office ain't blown up, so it should be all right.
It should be all right now, yeah.
But yeah, he's sound, my accountant. He's like, oh, so you've got... Yeah, he's like, you've got some weird parcels turn up. I'm like,
brilliant. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
They'll send you everything though.
He wasn't expecting that when he took us on as clients, and he was going to get underwear sent to him.
Bless him, because he works with more people in like agriculture and stuff like that. So he's had a lot of farmers and stuff. Yeah. And then I turn up and he's like, what the hell? This is like the honorary joke with me, because so. The first week I'd message him and I was like, oh yeah, he was like, come in, tell me what you've spent so far, write it all down, obviously. Yeah, great. So I've gone in, gave him the piece of paper, and honestly, he went bright red, bless him. And he was like, right, Shannon, you don't have to be so specific with what you write. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, you can't just be writing like 16-inch dildo and anal lube. I was like, well, what do you want me to write? He was like, just put Amazon. I was like, oh, I thought you wanted to know everything I bought. He was like, well, I'd just write how much you bought, and yeah.
Brilliant.
Honestly, bless him though. He went bright red. I'm like, oh, you're gonna have some fun with me.
Yeah.
Well, then I had to explain to him the other day what giantism was, because he's like, why have you bought friggin' Hot Wheels cars? I was like, well, have you never heard of giant? That was it. He was like, you can't really put that through the business. I was like, why not? He was like, we can't. I was like, do you not know what giantism is? He was like, no. I was like, he was like, do I need to sit down for this? I was like, yeah, probably. I was like, right. So basically, giantism is where the person likes to feel small. So I will have the camera completely on the floor, like my phone upside down, so the perspective looks bigger. Mm-hmm. And then I'll have like high heels and stuff, and then I'll just like stand on toy cars. And he was like, all right, okay. And he was like, yeah. So I was like, the other day, so I got in my truck, put a little car underneath the wheel of my truck and just ran it over. And he was like, right, okay. I was like, yeah, so business expense.
Yeah, next time. Ask when you're not sure.
Yeah, this is the thing. So when I started the business, I put it 50% road haulage and 50% media production. I was like, everything in media production, everything's a prop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was like, so yeah, everything goes through the business. And I was like, it's a prop.
Good point, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, the things I've had to explain to him, and he's like,
he's learned a lot.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, because like I say, he's just like I say, he used to people with like, how much fur have you bought? How much livestock have you bought this week? And diesel. Yeah. And I come along and I'm like, hey, have fun. Honestly,
have
he
some
hates
fun
me.
with it.
Yeah. What advice would you give to? There's a lot of people out there that want to get into trucking.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to them?
Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want to do it, because don't get me wrong as well, like it can be long hours, and if you get stuck in traffic, that's it. You can be on a night out. It can be hard, and it can be mentally, if you're on your own for a long time. Mm-hmm. So take that into account, but go for it. If you've got a passion, I say no matter what you do in life, if you want to do something, the thing is you could die tomorrow. You could get hit by a bus and die. Mm-hmm. Right? So you live once, go for it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, just because all right, this is the thing, it's expensive to do your license, but give it a go, make your money back on, what you've put into getting you to where you are. And then you always hold it. So you always hold your life, unless you're naughty. But you can dip in and out of it if you wanted to. But I would say just go for it. Like, you only live once.
That's it. It's good life experience.
Yeah.
However it turns out, isn't it?
Yeah. It can be hard. It can be really hard. And like I say, long hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I at one point, me and the husband, like, especially like I say, when I work in nights, we were like passing ships in the dark. So nights out as well, like, I've done the nights out. I've been there, I've tramped out for, full week, and it's hard. Like, it's hard on a relationship to be away. But if you can do that, then it depends how you are, like, mentally. If you can take it, like I say, you don't have to do a job where you're on night. You could just be on days or nights or whatever. But yeah, it's if you can do it. Yeah, the job itself is great. Like, I loved it. I loved being like in my own little space, because obviously, transport manager would message me the day before, I'd be like, oh, you're going XYZ. Great. I get in the morning, diesel up, off I go. Do you know what I mean?
And that's it. And it's your freedom then. You're out and about in your own space.
And he would some transport managers, obviously they're on, like, you hear they're on your back all the time, and they'll be messaging like, where are you? Get, like, some companies do push you. Yeah. But the transport manager I had, he was brilliant. The only time if something went wrong, then I'd ring him. But barring that, he'd leave you to it. And it was great. And like I say, listen to podcasts, or I'd ring people. I'd spend a lot of time on, like, hands-free, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. I mean, it is a lonely job out there. So if you can speak to people, if you can do things you enjoy whilst you're doing it, then great, you know.
See, obviously, I used to like ring the husband like on his dinner break because obviously he said to me, he's like, it's all right for you. You can drive, you can speak to me hands-free, right? You're doing your job. He's like, I can't lay bricks with phone under here like this.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, but I'm lonely. Yeah. Like because sometimes it does get lonely.
Yeah,
and they say you're in that truck for hours.
Yeah. Were you, before all the content creation and being a successful creator now, were you an introvert or a bit of an extrovert? Like, has this extroverted you in a way?
Because I was still a little bit now. Like, it's like I say, when you post something online, it's easy. You know, you're in your own space. You can do multiple takes on a video, send it out until you're happy with it. Videos are cut. But we was always keep ourselves to ourselves kind of thing.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean. We've done a complete 180. And now online, it looks like I'm very confident. I'm like out there, which my confidence has grown.
Yeah.
With the OnlyFans. And because I say, even like how I view myself and my body and all that lot over the last year or so, it's helped me a lot. Like, it really has.
It's empowered you.
Yeah, like I've learned to love myself. I am who I am. Like I've my character arc, if you like, has come on leaps and bounds. But I still now, obviously, I go to the truck shows, and you know, a lot of people want to come say hi and stuff like that, which obviously I don't mind at all. But halfway through the day, I look at it as like I've got a bar, right? So at the beginning of the day, I'm full. And then obviously every time I speak to somebody, have pictures, talk to it. Because obviously people, they want to ask me about the truck and all this lot. And then obviously I had like the same conversation a few times throughout the day. It'll get to, you know, mid-afternoon and then I'll have to go lock myself in the truck for a few hours and just then play my game.
Yeah, that's it.
Have some downtime. Because my energy, it's like a bar, and I literally, my social levels, if you like, that'd be a good way to put it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's been worn out during the day.
So I'm still like that now, and people, because they don't realise it's about me until they get to know me. I'm like, I don't really like people. Like I do, but I have so much that I'm like, I need a minute because I need to be quiet. I need quiet.
Well, the job you do is already quite a mind, consuming job, being on the road. And then you've got people asking you, repeating yourself multiple times. Like, I totally get how actually mid-afternoon you might go, I just had enough. Now,
and my thing is that I don't shut up talking.
You're in a good place now.
So like obviously when people come and talk to me, I'll just carry on talking, and then I'll have a conversation for someone for like 20 minutes, half an hour. And then I'm like, right, I need a minute now.
Then you come over for a picture.
That's all. I just don't stop talking. I don't know if it's like I don't know, like a nervous thing or I just keep talking. Like shut up. In my head, I'm just like, stop talking.
I get a lot of nervous energy though sometimes.
Yeah. So my thing is, I've got a little bit of anxiety. Like, it's got less over the years. But my thing as well, I am like ADHD, so I like ping pong all over the place. So my brain is like 100 mile an hour as it is.
So when you crash,
I do. It is literally like a massive crash. Like if you've had a Red Bull and then you crash, that's me.
You're very good at channeling that. Like, how you were saying your brain's 100 mile an hour. Shannon is very good at channeling that into business.
Right. Good for you.
Because not a lot of people can do that, actually. No. A lot of people have the mindset, but putting it into action just doesn't work.
See, and my thing is I have to learn, like, if I get into something, I have to learn everything.
Yeah.
And this is why with the trucks, I've learned, all right, I'm not saying I know everything, but over the years, I'm like, right, I like this. Now I need to know everything about it. And this is where it starts to show with, obviously, I do a lot of, whilst I've been doing the truck, it's because it's been like my project and now I have to finish it. This is my thing. I'm like, if I start something, it has to be completed.
Yeah, it's become your obsession.
Yeah. And a lot of people like seeing me actually do the work. So I'm not just sending it, all right, for like the interior. I can't do that physically. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with. I'd have to learn embroidery. Do you know what I mean? But like so when we sprayed the truck, obviously I took every single panel off that truck myself. Obviously my husband helped with the bigger bits, the heavy bits, but I've undone every single bolt. I've put it all back together. I've changed lights on it. I'll do as much maintenance as I physically can. I'm not a mechanic, but I've learned things over the years, like even with Land Rover, because Land Rovers are renowned for breaking down.
Really? No, I thought really reliable.
I've learned these things over the years, and like obviously people like to see that. They're like, oh yeah, like you're not just a driver. You're not just here she goes, she's driving, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Exactly. I've learned about the trucks. I've learned lots over the years, enough to be like, yeah, I can do this, I can do that.
Yeah.
I say I'm no expert in everything, but
you know enough to get you by, and actually doing YouTube now as well, that sort of thing works, doesn't it?
Yeah, and like I say, that people are starting to see this, like, oh yeah, I respect you for, you do a lot of stuff on your truck, and like I say, everything I've done on this truck, it's my idea, it's my, like, this is how I want it to look, this is what I want, and husband just like, oh god, here we go, bank accounts going down again. Like I say, the interior cost a fortune. He had a heart attack. I'm like, but I don't like it.
Yeah, but it's when you're in there for so long, it's worth it.
Yeah,
the investment will be worth
excited.
it. Yeah.
So excited.
When do you get it back? Or when's it going?
So it goes beginning of January for 3 weeks.
Okay.
Nice. So what are you going to do for those 3 weeks then?
Just have 3 weeks off.
Sounds like a good idea.
Last time, so when it's sent in for the interior, so I've planned, because I was thinking about doing it. It was originally said, do you want to do the interior in December? And I was like, look, I've got quite a bit of work lined up, obviously with the run up to Christmas. So can we push it to January? Because obviously January is quiet anyway. I was like, I might just book a holiday. Because when the catwalk went in, obviously they wanted it we need it for a minimum of like 2 weeks. So I was like, right, I'll go on holiday.
Yeah.
I haven't been on holiday in a while, so I'll go on holiday while the truck's in.
Where are you going?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm booked out.
Okay.
But when we had into the catwalk done, we went to was it Lanzarote? Yeah, we went to Lanzarote.
Nice.
I was like, stuff it. I want a nice break.
You've got to sometimes. Yeah. You've got to stop, and you've got to remember why you're doing this all as well. You've got to reset and start again. Yeah.
My problem is when I get tied up in like a lot of my holidays, we get probably ADHD, similar to you, but I've got to be doing something.
Yeah.
And I can't. Well, you look at me, I burn anyway. But there's no putting me on a beach, but. I just can't sit there. I can't lay there. I burn anyway. So I've got to be doing something. So sometimes I go on holiday and I come back, I'm knackered.
Yeah.
I come back to work and I'm absolutely exhausted.
Yeah, I like to do like the excursions and all this. Like we went and rode a camel this time. I was like, did a tour at volcanoes.
Yeah.
I was like, we like to do stuff, but then I also do like to chill out. Well, then obviously when I go on holiday, even though I'm not working the truck, I'm then working the social media and the OnlyFans. So obviously, like before we went on holiday, we'd obviously recorded a load of stuff ready to go on to social media. So we're doing all that. Obviously, we edited a YouTube channel while the video that was going out at the time, edited that out while we're on holiday. So we're still working, but we're just out at the pool working.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
So we're like, we'll have 10 minutes now, I'll go for a swim. And then back to it.
Yeah. You can accept that. Whilst you're in 30 odd degrees weather and
I'm like,
sat by the beach.
This is the thing. After that, when we went to Lanzarote, I was like, should we just move to Spain?
Yeah.
Because I was like, at least I could still work the truck because I've got international license.
Yeah.
I was like, I can still work the truck.
Yeah.
I was like, we'll just go buy a house in Spain and we'll do 50-50.
Hey, why not?
Yeah. Because I said to David, I was like, can you sort me out some European work? Because I've never done European work and it's something I've always wanted to do. And now I've got the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's my own truck, so I can do that. Like the companies I've worked for, never really did European work. No. It was obviously all UK based. So I've never had the opportunity to go abroad, but I would love to go abroad and do some working out there. Because honestly, the pictures I see of David and it's like, all right, he's working, but at least it's warm.
Yeah, exactly. Is it DC European? Is that him? Yeah. So I follow him, and actually I think I saw one where he come back to the UK and just everything's so different.
Oh, no.
You know, and he's out there and
it's such a miserable country, this, isn't it? It's like dingy.
It's getting worse.
Yeah, it's grey.
And you know what? I think he was stuck at a port for hours once. He was like, oh well.
Yeah.
Oh well, sun's out.
There's worse places
and then
to be.
some of the pictures like he's took of the trucks and the scenery in the background, I'm like, wow, that just looks incredible. And obviously like driving up the mountains and stuff, I'm like, oh, I'd love to do that.
Yeah. Makes you working. It feels like you're not working then when you've got...
Like you're going on a road trip.
Yeah, every day is different. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're just getting paid to do a road trip.
Yeah. Through the Alps or something. That'd be super
the life, isn't it?
Oh, so I'd love to do something like that.
Yeah.
And like I say, I can do that with my truck at least.
Yeah.
With what it is. So I was like,
of course, yeah.
I would like to go and do it. I really would. And I was like, if we buy somewhere abroad, we'll have a nice little house abroad and we'll just run from A to B.
That's keep that truck there, do some European work.
Yeah.
And then...
I was like, well, if I go over there, at least I could buy a left hooker.
Yeah.
And I'll keep that one out there.
Yeah.
Well, that's something like that. I was like, I would like to do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That.
How good is it, or how nice is it to have sort of Danon with you in this and supporting you with this?
Oh, he's been incredible. Like honestly, I could not have done all this without him. Like I say, he helps me with a lot of things. Like he's my photographer. He tells me what to say. No, like with when I do the TikToks, sometimes we'll have a really good idea, but then I'd like, as soon as you put the camera in my face, I kind of stutter and I'm like, and he's like, you're not doing it. Like, you're not saying what we should. So like just advertising the calendars, for instance, he's like, right, what you want to do is, advertise it like this. And then I'll just say something completely wrong. And he's like, so that's hard, like, because I say, put the camera in, I'm like, and I know what I want to say in my head, but the words don't come out.
We can totally relate to that because having a chat now is easy, to be honest, but you put a script in front of us, that's not happening.
Ben, to be fair, is invested in helping as much as he can. Prompters, scripts, everything, and we still butcher it, don't we?
Yeah.
Especially me.
I
hate scripted things.
We leave the intro to the end because if we did it at the start, it just ruin it.
Yeah. It would. And then it sets you off on this awkward tone. I don't know if you noticed, what was it? Which one was it where I was like, how did you get here then? So I can't remember. My first question is always
how we got here.
Or Nave, did you drive here then? No, I flew here. No, I don't know. What was Dave? Dave the angry trucker. And I'm going, so do you get road rage then? I hate
Dave the mild-mannered trucker.
That's it.
Oh yeah, Dave the mild trucker. Yeah,
the pleasant trucker.
Yeah, that's
honestly, when we first met him at Truck Show, obviously all I'd ever seen of him online, and when we actually got to talk to him, I was like, you are nothing like you are online. I was like, you're so nice and laid back. And he was like, so that's where the whole Dave the mild-mannered trucker come from.
Yeah. Did Dave tell you the egg story?
Oh,
yes.
Yes, you briefly touched on it with your truck.
So we were stood outside the truck, and then somebody had come and give him an egg, and it was like, I don't know what it is, everybody gives him an egg, and so he literally popped it, and it had gone all over my truck. I was like...
And you just finished cleaning it or something as well, yeah?
I was like, you best get a cloth and get cleaning that.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like, why? What's with the eggs?
And I was looking at mate, and he was like... Sorry. So I was like, I'm supposed to be angry.
Should have been like this, damn it.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've all been, all of them are freaking brilliant, and they're all in their own way. They're absolutely amazing. Like, 'cause I tell you what, all these truck shows with all these guys, they have like become like family. Like honestly, every single one of them, they've been amazing.
Yeah, I think Dave said something similar like you're up, and we can see it on social media, like how actually it's good, close, tight knit group.
Clicked, and we all bounce off each other.
Yeah.
Like honestly, if you watch, have you seen Truck Sean?
Yes.
Yeah, him and Nathan. Honestly, them two together, brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant. And like I say, everyone just bounces off each other. It is a good little group. I love it.
Good.
Some of Nave's stories when he was on. Oh my god, he had me howling.
Oh,
and the one with the taxi. Where he ran through a door.
Yeah, I know when he starts telling you some of the bouncer stories and stuff. I'm like, because this thing he's how tall is he? Like 6'5".
Yeah,
and you think he's going to be scary, but he's just like a big teddy bear.
He is. Yeah,
like the nicest teddy bear ever.
Yeah,
I'm like, you're not scary at all.
No, we got a photo outside, and at first it was like it's COVID, like 2 meters difference, and he sort of grabbed me and pulled me in. He's like, come on, then let's do it properly.
I know, with his accent, bless it. Yeah, he's freaking brilliant. I love Nathan.
No, he's a good guy. Is there anything else you want to cover?
Yeah, so I'm starting it tonight. So what I'm doing is every weekday throughout December, me and Nicole are doing an ice bath challenge. Every day, obviously, getting in the ice bath. Not really looking forward. I don't like the cold. Like I've just said, want to move to Spain. But the little boy we're doing for it, honestly, it like breaks my heart. Bless him. He's absolutely truck mad. He loves trucks, right? And he goes truck spotting. He's been to every single truck show. He comes and says hi to me and everything. He's the sweetest little boy. But when he was 4 years old, he just after his 4th birthday, he was diagnosed with leukemia. And honestly, bless him, he was had to be in isolation for 6 months, having intense chemo. And honestly, I've got goosebumps now with this poor little lad. He's like, he's so sweet. And God, honestly, it makes me cry, bless him. And he's just so sweet. So hold on. Right. So the hospital he was in, the staff out of their own pocket buy toys for the kids as like a bravery box. Yeah. And they obviously once, if he's gone through so once they've gone through like, their x-rays and the chemo and everything like that, they give him like a toy because obviously, like I say, they're in isolation because of infections and everything. So it helps with boredom and, stimulate these poor little kids. And so I was like, this is the least thing I can do. And he's the sweetest little boy. Yeah. He comes to every single truck show. Oh God. Yeah. And I was like, it's the least I can do. And his mum is so sweet as well because she's like, I'm so thank you. And I'm like, all I'm doing is getting in a bath of ice.
That's it. Yeah.
Where are people going to so you're starting it tonight?
Yeah, so I'm starting it tonight. I've just set up the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
And then what I'm going to do is I've had the second batch of calendars I've just done. All the proceeds off of these calendars I'm going to put towards it myself, and then obviously the fundraiser will start tonight. Like I say, we haven't promoted it yet because like I say, I've literally just set it up, and then we're going to be like, right, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
We want to go thing in. Like I say, we're going to do it me and Nicole do it every day throughout December.
Yeah.
And hopefully get some money raised for him.
Yeah, that's a really nice idea. Yeah, and if we can help advertise that as well, we'll
thank you. He's so sweet. And like I say, he comes he comes and sees me every time. And bless him, he runs up, he gives me a hug, and then I let him sit in truck and that, and he's blowing air on. I'm like, rev engine if you want, do it. You know what I mean?
That's such a small
he
token.
Loves it, and
really.
Then he'll go stand on bridges, wave to truckers. He's so sweet, and like so he's 6 now.
6, wow.
Oh, he's been through so bloody much.
He's had that since he was
4. He got diagnosed at 4. Wow. And he's been in remission now for 2 years, but it's, God bless him.
Yeah.
It's cruel, isn't it?
Yeah, it is cruel. And this is what I mean, like, when people are giving you crap online, it's like, honestly, mate, there's just so...
Yeah.
There's bigger things to worry about in life.
Do me a favour.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's the stuff we should be worried about.
Yeah.
So, you're doing a really good thing there.
Yeah,
and,
good for you
well
to use your following as well.
So I was like, I want to use it for something good. Like, it's not about me. I want to, like, because there's other things like I want to do, and I want to do a skydive. So again, I want to do. I've got an idea for the next show. I won't mention that yet until I sort that one out. Well, I do a skydive and just do as much stuff as I can, like I can give as I can, like as much as I can give. And like I say, like obviously my next thing is I want to bring out some line of merch that 100%. So, like I say, the calendars will go to Ethan's journey. And then my next one I'd like to do, so literally 100% of the proceeds off of like, I want to bring like a range of jumpers out. So it'll just be, you know, like hoodie, and that will be specifically for that charity. So if you, because not everybody can donate, or, you know, you can go donate if you don't want to buy a jumper. But if you want to buy a jumper, you are also supporting that cause.
That's amazing.
100% of it I'm going to put towards.
Yeah,
that's really
good for you.
Yeah, really
nice. Proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Good for you.
So that's my plan.
Yeah,
like I say, I am a nice person.
Yeah,
I do want to help people. As much as I can.
Yeah, shit on that.
Yeah, and I say, So that's my plan. Like I say, with I want to put the more young girls through the HGV, and I say, so the website I've got, I had someone sorting it out, and then they were, long story, they took the piss. So I've resorted back to doing the website myself. But again, I don't really know what I'm doing. I know technology, but I don't really know technology, if you know what I mean. So the setting the website up has been so hard for me. I've had to learn all that. So when I do launch it, it will be a form. You can go fill it out, as long as obviously you're UK based and you've got a full driving license. I want people to tell me why they would like a HGV license, why they'd want to get into it, and then I will pay to put them through with city driving, put them up in, because like I say, if they're based at the other side of the country, obviously, I know me and Nath want to team up together and do this. So I'll put them up in a hotel to do their week intensive course, and you know, hopefully we get more women into the industry that way.
That's amazing.
I mean, people still could probably give me shit like, what about the guys? I'm like, well,
sorry, I was going to say, there's only so much you can do.
I'm only one person.
Well, that'll absolutely boost the, you know, it's just, more female drivers out there. What a good thing to promote.
The nice things that I do love is like, I've had, like, you know, quite a few girls message me like, oh, you've inspired me to get into trucking, and, you know, like, I've got one girl, she always informs me, she'd just done theory, and then she did she did medical theory and everything like that, and she's like, oh, she'd just done her license, and she was like, obviously messaged me, she's passed and that, and I'm like, oh, well, like, massive congratulations and everything, and she was like, honestly, you've been a massive inspiration to me, and I'm like, oh, thank you.
Well, that's amazing.
Like, I really love that.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
Good.
And like I say, I do get a lot of love, and I am grateful for all the love I get. You know, the negative is a small fraction compared, but obviously, like I say, your brain will focus on the negative. Yeah. But the amount of love and support I've had is overwhelming, and I am very grateful for where I am.
Yeah.
Through the fans, like, following me, supporting me. I'm very grateful for that.
Well, thank you ever so much for coming.
And thank you for inviting me down.
No, honestly,
I've enjoyed it.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Absolute pleasure.